listening to Fresh Air on St. Louis Public Radio, 90.7 KWMU. Good evening, I'm Jerry Rhodey. As you may have heard, St. Louis County Prosecuting Attorney Bob McCullough announced earlier this evening that Officer Darren Wilson will not be charged in the August 9th shooting of Michael Brown. We will talk about that with legal analysts and experts and reactions from the St. Louis community on St. Louis on the End, a special live broadcast beginning in 20 minutes later this evening at 10 o'clock on St. Louis.
This is Fresh Air, and if you're just joining us, we're talking about Bob Hope. My guest, Richard Zoglin, is the author of a new biography of Hope that's called Hope. One of the things that Bob Hope became famous for was performing for the troops, something he started doing very early on in World War II. How did he start doing it?
Well, when World War II broke out, first of all, even before World War II broke out, Bob was entertaining the troops domestically. He just, suddenly one day, somebody suggested that he go down to March Field and entertain the troops there. We were bored, that we were not in the war yet. And Bob went there and got just an amazing reaction. They just loved him. He could really connect with the troops. And when the war started, Hollywood banded together and everybody felt they had to cooperate in the war effort. Some stars, as we know, enlisted, and the ones who didn't enlist volunteered to entertain at the bases around the country. Finally, when the war started to turn in the Allies' favor in 1943, the USO was able to start sending entertainment troops overseas. Bob was doing his radio show. He wasn't one of the very first, but in summer of 1943, he made his first trip over to Europe, Britain, and the European theater and North Africa. And that trip was so amazing. And even he took risks. He went into 3 days after Patton had succeeded in conquering Sicily. 3 days after that, Bob Hope and his entertainment troupe were there. And there was still bombing raids going on. They survived bombing raids. And the reaction of the troops, I mean, imagine you're a soldier, fighting for democracy overseas at a time when, really the country felt its existence threatened. This was to see a big Hollywood star show up, days after you've been in battle. That was an amazingly powerful experience for the men.
And performing for the troops really deeply enhanced Bob Hope's popularity and got him the gratitude of so many Americans. And then during the war in Vietnam, he performed for the troops too. But I'm not sure Bob Hope really understood how unpopular that war had become. And can you talk a little bit about those shows during the Vietnam era?
Sure. Well, Bob had done his work in World War II,